Just had a conversation with a man that paid for a ride, so I'll get him to his destination. Y'all, this was only 20 minutes. I kid you not. He starts going off about these women and problems that he got going on with his ex-wife, his baby mama, all this other stuff. And the worst part about it is he kept bringing up God, was bringing up stuff that he heard in the Bible, and called himself a God-fearing man. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me back up. So he got 4 kids. 3 of them was from the person who he was married to, so his ex-wife. They were together for 15 years. And then another child by somebody else who he left his wife for to get together, build a relationship with. He was like, oh, I'm gonna leave my wife and then I'm going to make this other woman a new wife. And then he said, oh yeah, but my wife met me when I had 5 women and all this other stuff. How are you going to keep on talking about what the women are lacking as an excuse for you to constantly be seeking out more and more women, and then say, oh, I'm not on that boy stuff, I'm a real man, and men don't play around, we don't like playing games? What do you think you're doing? And then he said, don't hate the player, hate the game. How can, first of all, it was a lot of contradictions. You can't say don't hate the player, hate the game, but then say that you don't play games first, and then stop bringing God into it. He was bringing up how God in the Bible, when it came to, what exactly did he say? He pretty much said that men were teaching their sons in different stories, that men teach their sons to basically not stick around if they're unwanted and with women. It was a lot of stuff that this man was saying, and I've gotten a lot better at keeping my composure, not speaking what I'm actually thinking, because I could have so many thoughts and hardly anyone would know what I'm thinking. And just, but I was asking this man questions. Like, I asked, did you or did you not be upfront with these women that you had other women? Because he was complaining about being labeled as a cheater. Well, sir, did you or did you not let these women know that you had other women? And he was like, see, here we go again. You not getting what I'm saying. Answer the question. Answer the question. It's a simple question. It's a yes or no. Did you or did you not tell them that you had other women? And before that, I was asking him, or when he was talking about how he can't find a God-fearing woman anywhere, if you were married, that is a covenant relationship with God. Too many people, see, there's too many people who say they want to get married. If you do not have a relationship with God and you're not seeking a relationship with God, you shouldn't even be thinking of marriage anything. Because first and foremost, it's a covenant relationship with him in the center. So, but I digress. Anyways, he was saying, well, they should have figured it out. They should have already known what was up. They should have known what was up. What? What do you mean? And I was asking him to elaborate. And he said, it took him a while to say it, but that's what I'm talking about. Why is it that anytime you have issues with somebody, now everyone else is the problem, but you not? You got 4 kids. You're complaining about things not working out by them holding resentment and all this other stuff until the kids get old. It's crazy listening to this dude. I felt like it was forever. And I was so drained. That by the end of it, I was like, yeah, it's time to go home. It's time for me to go. This is draining. But one of the things that really stuck out to me the most is that he specifically said, man, these St. Louis women, my buddy, he was doing the same thing as me, but now he happily married with his wife after he moved down to Texas. See, them Southern women are different from these St. Louis women. I've been hearing more and more recently people complaining about St. Louis women as if the geography in the same country, it's not even a different country, but within the same country is the reason why you can't find who you're looking for, or that your relationships are just ruined from the jump. No. There's plenty of magnificent, fabulous, God-fearing women here in St. Louis. And here's the thing. The dude don't even go to church. How are you going to complain that you can't find any God-fearing women, but you don't even go to the house of the Lord, where, guess what, there's God-fearing women? And I said all you need to do is just change your environment. You don't know St. Louis. There are, 3 million people here in St. Louis? And you mean to tell me because of the 2 women that you had issues with that just so happened to be in St. Louis, now you're labeling all women here as the issue? All women here is the problem? And I know there's ladies who do that against men. They'll have a bad relationship or have a couple fallouts with a couple dudes, and then all of a sudden all men are trash. All men are the problem. No, sweetheart. Maybe it's you. You're the common denominator in all of this. All of this. And here's the thing. No matter what I experience in relationships that don't work out, I'm constantly learning something from it, or seeking what are some things that I could take, what are lessons I can learn that I could apply this elsewhere, or apply this in the future so I don't make the same mistakes. Lots of these bitter people, he was so bitter in the way he was describing these women. I can only imagine how you spoke to them when you were with them. Who is going to tolerate someone who constantly disrespects them, man or woman? That's not a relationship that anyone will want to be in. That's not a marriage anyone will want to be in. And infidelity, you know how big of a sin that is? And I can't stand when people bring up things in the Bible that they could use to support whatever feelings or whatever argument they have. But the second that you bring up something that's their fault, you know that when you're married, that is you and that person. You become one. There should be no one else that comes in the middle of it. There should be you doing any of that with anybody. There shouldn't be any of that in a marriage. You dishonor God with that. And you're going to talk about oh yeah, God got me. We have such a strong relationship. Man, I'm so into my Bible. But the way you talking, and then you say, well, I was from the project, so there's just some things that is just never going to change. When you're a God-fearing person, whether you're a man or a woman, that comes with sacrifice, and you will be changed when you allow the Holy Spirit to flow within you. Don't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your circumstance is. Stop blaming everyone else for your failure in your relationships. Yes, are there some things that these women have done? Probably. But he didn't say a single thing that he could have worked on, that he could have been better at. It's always everyone else. And he's saying he has to move to a whole nother state in order to find someone to be with. And he admitted that he stays in the same. If you are here's another thing that I can't stand a lot of these single people, a lot of these bitter people about. You're going to the same places and complaining about receiving or getting with the same type of people. If all you do is go to where they establish the drugs at, to where the club is, all the sinful behavior is filled with, what makes you think you're going to receive God's blessing? Make it make sense. Do you really think that you are going to be blessed when you're not even trying to find it elsewhere where you need to be? If you want marriage, if you want to raise a family, if you really want a monogamous relationship, why would you go to the club? Why would you go to a strip club? Why would you constantly go out drinking and go to places and all these different bars and stuff like that? what type of behavior usually comes in those environments. Not usually behaviors that create a foundation for a long-lasting relationship, I'll tell you that. Why don't you go to the gym? Go to the library. Go to the civic center. The science center. Go to a park. Talk to some people when you wait in a long line at a grocery store. Y'all just stay where you're comfortable at and complain about not getting something else or not getting a different result. That's literally the definition of insanity. You think if you continue to do the same thing, be around the same crowds, hang out with the same people, that you're going to get anything else than what you've already received? Ask yourself that. Especially if you want a long-lasting relationship and you want to honor God. That was my biggest problem with this man. He made it seem like he was all righteous. Despite the stuff that he was saying, calling women hoes. Saying, God knows I can't marry one of them. So then why are you entertaining them? What does that say about you? What type of man do you think you are for these women? Especially for the type of women you're looking for. Are you the type of man that they would want with those behaviors, with that language? Because the way he was talking about them, y'all, I'm telling you, it's so irritating. And I'm not acting as if it's only men that do this. There are women I know, women that I've met, heard speak, and the way that they talk about men, it's like, you're not going to find a man that's going to tolerate any of this. You need to fix yourself. Get yourself right. And don't just pick and choose what to follow in the Bible. Don't use whatever stories or whatever fabrications of certain stories in the Bible to justify your actions, but then when brought some of the behaviors that you're choosing that go against God's word, oh, well, it's because I'm from the projects. You're blaming everyone else. Everyone else is the problem. Everything else is the problem. The location's the problem. The other person's the problem. This world's the problem. But what are you doing about it? What are you doing to make this world a better place? What are you doing to make your situation better? What actions are you taking to change your situation? What actions are you taking to change the scenario? You're just repeating the same cycle. And I feel bad for a lot of these older folks that just have these stuck mentalities and these people that believe you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, then I guess you need to stop whining. That was so draining. Oh, that I need to get this out of my system, because I was like, Lord, why why are there more people complaining about the location when there's so many different places here? You can meet people at the arcade room or something. All these people are mainly hooking up in clubs and wondering why they're not in a long-lasting, healthy marriage. Make it make sense.